Good evening. I would like to call to order the December 11th meeting of the New Rochelle Board of Trustees. It is 7:31 p.m. We do have a quorum here for a full meeting, and an attendance sheet is going around. So to start, I would like us all to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There is no need for an executive session tonight. So I would like to, everyone has received the agenda for this meeting. I think that there is a paper copy some people have received. If not, it was definitely in the board packet. If you need a paper copy, let us know. But I would like to make a motion to adopt the meeting agenda as presented prior to the meeting and the board materials. May I get a second? Seconded by Corey Galloway. And any questions or concerns, discussion? Great. Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. I will now turn it over to our secretary for approval of the minutes.
Yep. So the minutes of the November 13 meeting were shared ahead of time, and so I would like to make a motion to adopt the minutes of the board meeting of November 13. May I have a second? Are there any questions or any discussion on minutes? All right. Do you have to follow up?
Yep. So hearing no questions or concerns, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Great, passes unanimously. And I would now like to turn over to regular business and the Westchester Library System report. David Minner. Hi, David.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
We concluded our last board meeting in November, and then WLS takes a December recess. We spoke about this briefly last time, but we discussed it at the last meeting. The county is faced with a challenging financial environment the next year and has reduced funding for many county-wide services and nonprofit organizations. WLS experienced an 8% reduction in funding from the previous year's budget. The WLS 2026 budget had anticipated a 5% reduction. So this is an additional 3% reduction, which equates to about $40,000. Relatively small in comparison to the total budget, but it's still very much present. The proposed plan to accommodate the funding reduction is to reduce further system expenditures for Hoopla and Canopy by about $40,000 across the 2026 fiscal year. It shouldn't be an issue, but that's essentially the story. Any questions?
Thank you. You were saying that we're hoping to reduce the cost for Hoopla and the.
Yeah, so basically to fill in the hole, so to speak, it will come out of those two services.
Okay.
So it'll be a reduction in the services for those.
And the second one was besides Hoopla was what?
It was Canopy.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for David?
So good advocacy for the county, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, David. Sure. Moving on to the president's report. Be brief. I just wanted to say thank you to those who were able to attend the Thanksgiving Day Parade. New Rochelle's Thanksgiving Day Parade is actually considered New York State's second largest parade. Yep. Proud of that. We should be proud of that. It brings in over 70,000 people, and that includes the participants as well as the viewers. So I think that's actually a good way to be in the state. This was the 61st annual parade, and the New Rochelle Public Library Foundation's very own Chris Sellen served as the Grand Marshal. So it was a good day, and I hope everyone had a good time with that. I wanted to turn our attention also to the New Rochelle Public Library strategic plan. At a 2024 meeting, our November 2024 meeting, the board voted to extend the last year of the plan to 2027. It was set to initially to expire in 2026. Given the fact that we had a new director and that would not be enough time, we extended it to 2027. With our director completing her first year and the incredible amount of work that we have moved forward this year and that we also see on the horizon, we've identified additional needs that have to be completed. And it is in the best interest of the library's operations to extend the final year of the strategic plan to 2028. And my colleague Corey Galloway had noted this during the last meeting. So for this meeting, I would actually like to make a motion for an official board vote to extend the last year of the strategic plan an additional year, making a new final year for our strategic plan to be 2028. So may I get a second, please?
Second.
Second, thank you, Fala. Any questions or concerns? Discussion? Okay, great. So I will call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Great. Passes unanimously. And then in the spirit of the holidays, and with our this being our final board meeting of the 2025 year, I just wanted to take a moment and thank our volunteers. The time, energy, and enthusiasm that our volunteers bring to their work here at the library really fuels the heart of our public library, and it helps us to make our mission possible every day. I want to give a special thanks to the dedicated volunteers of the New Rochelle Public Library Foundation, as well as the Friends of New Rochelle Public Library. The longstanding support from both of these organizations really does serve to support and strengthen offerings that we're able to provide to our community. It enriches the community and ensures the library continues to thrive. As Corey mentioned, and I'll also mention tonight, at the last meeting, our board is continuously working with both the Friends and the Foundation, but specifically with each of these organizations with the leadership of each of these organizations to have cooperative agreements, and also the leadership of the Friends of New Rochelle Public Library to address safety, fiscal, volunteer, and collaboration areas. And we do hope to have written working agreements for review at upcoming board meeting for both our working relationships with the Friends and with the Foundation going forward. So thank you for that. Thank you to everyone, to the staff, and to our volunteers who just helped to make this library a really great, welcoming, and just critical resource for our community. So thank you, everybody. I will turn it now to our director for the director's report.
And we have to get wireless mics at some point. It'll be an upgrade. Good evening, everyone. So as we wind down this calendar year, I wanted to begin by thanking the entire community for the warm welcome, the patience, and the partnership that everyone has shown me since I settled into my role. Much of the last year was spent on behind the scenes work. So important, foundational, and yes, sometimes boring work. We adopted a wide range of essential policies, almost completed 2 audits, both firsts for NRPL, focused on legal compliance, HR updates, and the structural pieces that keep the library protected and thriving. We also created a new treasurer position and that will function as a CFO, giving us a much stronger financial oversight as we plan for the future. These steps are not always visible, but they make everything else possible. Alongside that work, we added many new positions and celebrated staff promotions. Congratulations again to Janelle, Sandra, Marta, Mike Paola, and everyone stepping into new roles this year. Your dedication and support and creativity will really strengthen the library every single day. We also launched a staff-led workplace violence working group, which has already made a real impact, developing safety policies, strengthening procedures, and yes, even getting us panic buttons. Their thoughtful work has made NRPL a safer place for staff and patrons alike. This year also saw our first ever staff development days and general staff meetings, opportunities for all of us to learn, connect, and build a stronger team. I've loved seeing our staff grow together, and I'm looking forward to our holiday gathering this month. Even with all the foundational work, we've had some big, tremendous wins, including some large capital grants that I will leave to my colleagues to share news of. Advocacy is a big part of my job, and I plan to keep bringing resources home to New Rochelle. A major focus this year was simply learning, getting to know our community, our partners, our neighborhoods, and how people rely on their library. Those conversations are guiding everything that we're planning for the coming year. We're continuing to do behind the scenes work. We're refining job descriptions, aligning roles with our mission so we can expand programming, outreach, and the vibrant creative work that connects people to our library. I'm deeply grateful to our staff, our board, the foundation, and the friends, and our patrons. Thank you for making this first full year really meaningful, energizing, and full of promise. Together, we're building a library that reflects the creativity, diversity, and spirit of New Rochelle. And here's to new year full of connection, imagination, and all the fun stuff that makes public libraries shine.
Thank you, Eugenia.
Well said.
We look forward to our new treasurer joining our board meeting in January, and then following up, we'll have regular treasurer reports. Until then, we have no treasurer's report tonight, but we do have board committee reports, and I will turn it over first to the Budget and Finance Committee, to Rhiannon.
The Budget Committee, Budget Finance Committee met on November 19th, I think. And we welcomed our new treasurer, who is currently still in the role of financial consultant, and his first official day with us will be on December 16th. We're very excited to have Toussaint Gauvin on staff now as part of the board. This was the treasurer search was a lengthy process. We interviewed many candidates, and we're very excited with Toussaint that we ended up with. He brings a lot of experience and will help us with our growth and our transition into being financially independent and applying a lot of the audit findings that we look forward to. So as Eugenia mentioned in her director's report, the audit has been completed. We look forward to receiving a draft report in January that will be shared with the Finance Budget Committee at their next meeting, our next meeting on January 28th. We will have the opportunity to ask questions and digest the report, and then there will be a board retreat in February with the full board where the audit report will be shared, and then we hope to approve the audit report at the March 12th board meeting. There will be, the committee discussed at this past evening meeting the library's fiscal policies, and we will coordinate with the auditors and with the treasurer to update fiscal policies and bring them to the full board for approval in the first quarter of 2026. The committee discussed bonding, that we are considering a potential infrastructure bond in May of 2026. We are working with a contractor, CalG, to provide an analysis, a cost analysis for a new roof, a new HVAC system, new exterior windows, a new and/or additional elevator, and new and/or additional public bathrooms. And there will be a kickoff meeting scheduled with CalG. We are working closely with the school district on the potential bond for May 2026. And there will be a lot more information to come on that. And I think that's the report. So the committee meets again on December 17th at 8:30, and then again on January 28th at 8:30.
Great. Thank you, Rhiannon. Any questions? Rhiannon? Okay. Hearing none, I will turn it over to Buildings and Grounds. Corey.
So the great part about Buildings and Grounds and where we are is we're working closely with the Finance Committee. So a lot of those updates will cross over as we look at the building. Obviously, we have to be very close to the financial responsibilities that we have or are looking to undertake as an institution, as a library. So to that point, we did have a Building and Grounds meeting where we also discussed the library bond, as well as receiving a draft of an MOU from an outside consultant. That's actually the consultant for the school, currently work with them on the bond. Also, we talked about the children's area and improving that and looking into phase 2 of continuing to build that area out. Let's see. We are looking at areas of the building to make sure that all areas are safe from a conditions point of view. I'll be able to go more into that after on our January meeting. Once we get some reports back, we're just looking at making sure every part of this building is safe. So we did have a consultant do a walkthrough, and we'll get those results and we'll give it back to the public as soon as we receive those. Also, we're also looking at floor plans and looking at different parts of spaces that are currently within the library that we may be able to work together with our partners, the friends and the foundation, and figure out the best way to give the most space that's utilized for the community from what we're offering as a library. Children's Garden Projects, the project I was discussing, and we're obviously looking into the second phase of that. We're looking close to, it's about $35,000 for the second phase of that. Let's see. And that's it. We just formed a space planning committee that Vera and I'll be working on. We're looking for another person. If not, it'll just be Vera and I, but we'll work with Calchi and Lothrop on the space planning as far as the library is concerned, as we're looking at all these areas to improve the library. And obviously, once again, working very closely with the Finance Committee to make sure we're being fiscally responsible. That is it.
Thank you, Corey. Moving on to the Community Relations Committee, Vera Nancy.
The Community Relations Committee did not meet in November. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, December 22nd at 9 a.m.
Thank you. And we'll move on. We'll hear from the Personnel Committee, Tatiana.
Hi, the Personnel Committee met on November 18 at 9 a.m. And we talk about the ADP transition, some staffing updates, and we also talk about the holidays for 2026. And with that, I would like to make a motion to approve the updated 2026 holiday closing schedule. Wait. One something to note about the schedule is that we decided to observe Juneteenth starting 2026. And based on the outreach with the Westchester Library System, a majority of the libraries were closed in observance of Juneteenth this past year, and most intend to continue this practice in 2026. And we believe recognizing Juneteenth supports and reinforces the library's commitment to honoring significant cultural and historical observances. And closing the library on Juneteenth will not disrupt any programming, as educational and celebratory events can continue to be offered in the day leading to the holiday.
And so you'd like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve the updated 2026 holiday closing schedule.
Good. Thank you. Can I get a second for the motion to?
Second.
Okay, got Nancy. Any questions, concerns, discussions? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
All right, good.
Thank you.
And I would like to make a motion to approve consent agenda for the personal resolutions number 1 through 3, according to the recommended action for each item. And everything is in the board packet.
In the board packet, okay. So a motion's on the floor. May I get a second to pass the resolution, seconded by Rhiannon? This is information that was in the board packet. Any questions or concerns, discussion? No? Okay. Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed.
And our next meeting will be next Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Tuesday, December.
December 16
16.
at 9 a.m.
Thank you. Okay, last but not least, the policy committee. Paula, sorry.
Hi, thank you, Lucille. I just wanted to start by also just talking about the importance of libraries and policy. Kind of echoing what our executive director said, policy is not exactly the most fun part of everything, but it is really important because this is where, for any organization that we express, you can understand what the goals of the organization are and our expectations. And there's a transparency so that our public and our staff and the people who use our library understand various things or myriad items. So with that, there's going to be 3 pieces of new policy that we're going to be, that the policy committee is bringing to the board tonight for a vote. Another thing I'd like to just mention before we get to that is just an echoing, and I know that all of our trustees feel the same way, that we echo what our board president said about our gratitude towards our volunteers, the volunteers from the Friends, the volunteers from the foundation, the library volunteers, the volunteers that are sitting at these tables because we're all volunteers, and the work that's done from our staff, and our executive director, to everyone within the building, and what they do to welcome and support everyone in our beautiful city. So it's just really, it's a deep appreciation for that. I'm very touched. I'm kind of saying this in honor of my grandfather who lived a life of service, and it's reminding me that that's something I definitely want to do. I hope I can live as long as he did, but I mean that was very long. But I'm very grateful to be able to serve our community. It's such an important and a fulfilling part of our lives. So the policy committee met this month in December twice. First on our regular scheduled meeting on Monday, December the 1st at 9 a.m. And then we had a special meeting on the 9th let's just say the 9th. Our next meeting is going to be on January the 5th at 10 a.m. So it's a slight time change. So I'm going to introduce these 3 pieces of policy, which again, the policy committee, and thank you to all of you that are on it, to Tatiana, Vera, and Lucille, and Eugenia for joining. Like, we really appreciate it. The first policy is from their staff and from this committee or this working group that Eugenia mentioned earlier, the Workplace Violence Working Group. And what they're doing is really going into the details and finding out any areas or things that can be improved to increase safety for our patrons, our staff, all of that, for everyone that utilizes the library. So this policy is called the Restricted Areas Access Policy. And what it does is help people understand that there are certain areas that will be for staff and volunteers only, and it's defining some of these and noting that signage will be there for that. So people understand where they can be and where they should be. And then it also helps people understand who are volunteers, who has standing access and who has various other types of access. So I'm really just so appreciative to our to the staff at the library and our director for bringing this forward. And I would like to make a motion that the board accept and adopts this new policy, the restricted areas access policy, which was shared with the board prior to today's meeting or tonight's meeting.
Great. Thank you, Fala. We have a motion on the floor to pass the restricted areas access policy. May I get a second? Seconded by Vera. Opening for discussion, questions or concerns, Fala? Those are great explanations.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Motion passes and the policy passes.
Great.
Okay.
Our second piece of policy that the policy committee would like to adopt is a revision to our internet access policy, which was originally adopted in 2011. So it is an update to it. It's bringing it into this decade. And one thing that I'd like to note is that all of our policies are available on our website, on the nrpl.org website, so that the public can read them and should read them. I would like to make a motion that the board adopt this revision of the internet access policy.
Thank you. Motions on the floor to adopt the revision of the internet use policy to bring it up to date. May I get a second, please? Seconded by Corey. Opening it up for any questions, concerns or discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Great, passes unanimously.
Oh,
Back
great.
to you, Fala.
Okay, for the final piece, this is a revision to our facilities rental policy. This is the update to this, or the revision to this, is just clarifying some of the information regarding people who would like to rent our facilities and who may ask to serve either food or alcohol within at non-library events. So there's just some additional information that's in there. This, again, as I mentioned, will be up on our website and would go into effect directly after this. With that said, I would like to make a motion that the board adopt the revision to the facilities rental policy.
Great, thank you. A motion is on the floor to adopt the facilities rental use policy. Revision of the policy. May I get a second? Seconded by Tatiana. Any questions, concerns, or discussion about the facilities use? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes, policy passes. Thank you, Flan.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you. And again, as I mentioned, our next meeting is going to be January 5th at 10 a.m.
Great. Thank you. And now I'll turn it back over to Rhiannon for approval of checks and warrants.
Consent agenda for checks and warrants in front of me. And they're for the fiscal year 2025-2026, warrants number 19, 20, 21, and 22. And I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda. Checks and warrants.
Great, thank you. Motions on the floor to adopt the consent agenda for warrants 19, 20, 021, and 022 for the fiscal year 2025-26. May I get a second? Thank you, Nancy. Seconded by Nancy. Okay, any questions or concerns? All right, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes, and the board just needs to sign that. Okay, there are no additional resolutions that are coming up from committee reports that we know of. And I do not believe that we have any old business to continue from last meeting. We've already done that. Is there any new business if something is not coming out of committees? All right.
Yes,
Okay.
I have one item of new business.
Okay, Rhiannon.
Yes, we are very excited and happy to share that we received a very generous grant from out for state legislators. State Senator Shelley Mayer and Natalia Fernandez, and State Assembly members Steve Otis and Amy Pollan. And each legislator has pledged $250,000 in grants that will go towards the construction of a new roof. And so we have done a lot of outreach as a board and with the help of Eugenia, our director, to our elected officials, speaking about the condition of the building and the work that really needs to be done because the roof is leaking, the HVAC system is failing. There's a lot of things that are going on with this building that is, several decades old. And we're so excited to have these state legislators who are so supportive of the public library and who've pledged this kind of amount of money. And so we're going to receive this money. We're going to work to, obviously this is not covering the full amount of what it takes to build a new roof, but this is a great start. And that is really thanks to the tremendous amount of outreach that we've done and the generosity of our legislators. So this is great news for us.
It is great news. Thank you, Rhiannon. I just want to make a special note that the board is always advocating to different members in the community and also to legislators, but it is important that we note that Rhiannon especially has done a significant amount of work and joined with Eugenia to meet with all of the legislators. And we are so grateful to you for all the time and effort that you put into that to help us get this far. So thank you. Okay, we are now at the point for public comment. Seeing none, we will move on to adjournment of the meeting. And so I would like to make a motion for us to adjourn the December 11th meeting, 2025 meeting of the Board of Trustees for the New Rochelle Public Library. May I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Rhiannon. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the meeting is adjourned at 8:03 p.m. Thank you, everybody, and happy holidays.